In order to learn to play piano quickly, we need to learn the notes that are on the staff. But did you know that you can actually learn to play the notes on the staff without knowing what all the notes are yet? And that's by using intervals. Intervals are the amount of spaces between notes on the piano, and they correspond with the staff. So we're going to learn our first two intervals today, which are seconds and thirds. Once you're able to identify those, you're going to be able to play them immediately from the staff on the piano. Make sure to check out my other videos on how to identify the keys on the piano and the rest of the interval series. So let's look at some seconds and thirds on the piano. Here's middle C. We're going to start at middle C, and I'm going to show you what some seconds up from middle C looks like. Here we go. So a second is just going in one direction from one white note to another. So seconds down look like this. So now let's look at what some thirds up look like. Thirds, if we count the notes 1, 2, 3, we play the first note and the third note. That's how we can figure out that it's a third. We are skipping a note, so sometimes they're referred to as skips. So here's some thirds up. And here are some thirds down. So now let's take a look at the staff and see what they look like on the staff. Here is our staff. We have our treble clef, which for right now we're going to say that is played with our right hand, and our bass clef. If you remember how notes move on the staff, they go from line notes, where the line goes completely through the note, to a space, to a line, to a space, to a line, to a space, all the way up and all the way down. So if we start here in the treble clef and we're on a line note, the very next space note is a second on the piano. So that is a second going up. If you draw a line from the note closest to the treble clef or the bass clef and figure out which direction it's going, we see that this is going up. So this is a second going up. This one is a second going down because we start here and we realize that it's going down. So this one goes from a line note to the very next space next to it, and they are adjacent to one another. So those are seconds on the piano. If we look at the bass clef here, we have some examples of thirds. So we start closest to the bass clef, and we're going to draw a line with our finger, and that is going up. So this is going to the right of the piano. We're starting at this note, and then there's a line in between, and then we're at another space. So a space to a space is a third. You can figure it out by counting. The space is 1, the line is 2, the next space is 3. Here is an example of a third going down. We have a line note. There is a skipped space in the middle, and then another line note. And we can count it, 1, 2, 3. And this is going down. So this would be to the left of the piano, down. Let's do the seconds first. I have my thumb on middle C, and our first note is an E. We see that our interval is a second up. So from the E, we do a second up, which is the F. And then from the F, we have a second up again. So we go to a G, and then we have a second down, which is an F. And then in the bass clef, we're going to play with our left hand. So this would be C major position. And with our left hand, with our pinky or number 5 finger on the C below middle C, we're starting on that C for the second one. So we start here and we see we have a third up. So we skip the next note and we do a third up, which is to the E. The very next note is a second up. So we're going to go to an F. And then we have a third down, skipping the E, D. So again, we're going C, third up, second up, third down. So you see how you can use intervals just the seconds and thirds to play a lot of music starting out. A lot of people have the question, how do I know which note to start on if I don't know the notes on the staff? Well, eventually you'll learn the notes on the staff, but in early music, a lot of times we make use of hand positions. So if you're in middle C position or C major position, then you will be able to know your starting note because it'll give you your finger numbers. Other times, the first note is actually labeled. Make sure to check out my other interval series to learn about other intervals so that you can quickly learn to play on the staff.